Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Happy to have you here. Happy Wednesday, best day of the week. We have a jam-packed show for you guys today. Tyreak Sapp's on the show, Connor Clark's on the show, and of course, co-host right now for the evening, standing at 4'9", the biggest Tennessee fan from Georgia. David's Florida quiz was happening, big dog.
Oh, that Tennessee game was rowdy. It was really rowdy. About 48 people kicked out, probably about 20 arrested. But hey, it was a fun game. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Let's get it. Let's go.
It was worth every penny. Well, quick little thing here. We were just talking with Tyreak, and we lost connection. So I don't know what happened. Let me shoot him a message really quick.
It was a dead spot, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I got a funny story I can share while we're waiting to get Tyreak back.
Please do.
Yeah. We were greeted by some wonderful Tennessee fans in our stands. When the Tennessee fans in front of us were pretty nice, but the guy behind us, he poured beer in our seat because we were cheering for Florida, and he got all mad because the team was getting all blown out. We just kind of laughed at him, and then on the way back, we're going back to the car, and there's a guy. He's just randomly pushing some girl. So a bunch of people started yelling at him. I think it was a Tennessee fan. I don't know, because he's wearing white. We couldn't tell if it was like a white Tennessee shirt. Some dude came up behind him and just choked him out, hit the ground. It's pretty wild. And the tailgate was pretty wild. So. It
was a great time. The Harmonicwoods tailgate put on an absolute show. We enjoyed it being there. I enjoyed being there. It was, again, an incredible experience. I talked about it on Sunday. My voice was struggling, but it was good. Famous $10. I think that's Stephen Harris says, "Yes, sir. Go Gators. Swamp King. Let's go, baby." It is. What's going on, baby, man? This is Stephen Harris, ladies and gentlemen, 06 national champ. Tyreak literally was just here. I literally go, "Hey, man, you ready to go?" He goes, "Yep." I click live, and he dropped. I don't know what happened. So give us a second.
I think he was like in the car and he lost signal.
Yeah, he was driving somewhere. I don't know if he was driving. I think he was riding somewhere, but.
Yeah, Tyreak saw who I picked, and then he played out of his mind. So, I mean, I see. That's why I do it. That's why I do it.
It was definitely your pick. Is what got it.
It's because of me. It's because of me. They played a little bit harder. They said, "Hey, look, that asshole picked Tennessee. Okay, we're gonna play a lot harder now."
I couldn't agree more. I've been giving Dave crap all week for him picking Tennessee. So, I mean, it's been fun for me. I'll probably let it go. Probably never. But we'll see.
You know what? When I left the stadium, this is the only thing I could think of.
And it's great to see all these people out here getting disappointed. I love it.
Dave's got his own buttons. Dave's got his own buttons. Let's go, baby. I love it.
I do.
Hey, boys and girls, real quick, though. We got over 250 people in the chat. Just to kind of give you a rundown of the show once Sapp gets back on here. Hopefully we get this thing going here shortly. Excuse me. Connor Clark's going to come on the show. We're going to talk recruiting with him. We're going to talk about the Tennessee game, what to expect moving forward. We're also going to be giving out the giveaways. We have the Fred Taylor football, signed pictures, jerseys. So we're picking the winners for those, including free coffee. But we're also going to be giving away a signed Tim Tebow helmet. So stay tuned for that and how you can earn yourself to win that. That's coming up here shortly once we get Mr. Sapp back on the show. Again, I don't know what happened to him. This is worst timing, worst case scenario here. Like, I don't.
Yeah, like literally, he was in the waiting room, and then we began the show, and then he just disappeared. So we have no clue where he just went to. But hey, look at that. What'd he say?
Between the Hedges says even Hedges picked UF. What were you thinking, Dave? I don't know. It's $5 from Between the Hedges, and then $2 says that hairline effed up his prediction.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't take my Propecia to cure the hairline, so maybe that's what it was, man. Maybe I didn't use enough Rogaine, you know, and maybe I didn't get anything up there on the moss.
Oh, I love
I
the
didn't know.
chat. I love the chat. This is incredible. Boys, I had an entire show planned for Mr. Tyreak Sapp. And I don't know. Literally, man, was just in here. Just in
Just
here.
don't bring
Connor
up
Clark. Yeah, Connor Clark's supposed to be on here in just a minute. I'll give it a few more minutes, and then maybe we'll air raid Connor Clark in here, and then get Tyreak in here.
Yeah, looks like Tyreek lost a little signal there, but hey, you know what? Watching Trevor Etienne get about 10.9 yards per rush in the first half was pretty cool to see, and then he got 7.5 by the end of the game. He was actually, if you were to ask me on offense, obviously he would probably be the MVP because he rushed like 179 yards, almost 180. But then you had the defense, man. The defense been showing out still. They actually lead the SEC, not in missed tackles, but less missed tackles. They have the lowest amount of missed tackles in the SEC right now at 19. Georgia's right behind them at 20. But completely just annihilates everybody else in the SEC. And I look at this way too. Like you can tell when a defense is playing really, really good by looking at their missed tackle rate. And I'll say that's not the end all be all of a defense, but you can really gauge where a defense is at by looking at how many missed tackles that they have. So you go through the SEC, and obviously you see Vanderbilt. They got the most. It's like 40 something. They don't recruit the best athletes, nothing like that. Everybody knows that. So I always look at that first to gauge where a defense is, and like this defense is playing a hell of a lot better than what they have the past 3.
Tyreak will be on in just a minute. He just texts us. There he is. All right, boys, we're back. Nobody panic. Nobody panic.
Oh, he was switching.
What's up, Tyreak? Nobody believed us. They thought we catfished him.
Nah. For some reason, my service went acting crazy. I don't know what happened.
That's Gainesville, man. It's you never know what dark hole you're gonna go into and lose signal.
Yeah. I mean, my service in Gainesville is pretty bad too. I have to get on Wi-Fi to do anything.
Yeah, I'm on some Wi-Fi now, so we good.
It looks good, feel good, man. Well, Mr. Sapp, appreciate you coming on here, man. Really excited to have this interview with you. I know the fans are excited to hear from you. I've got this clip. I want to start it off like this, Tyreak. I just want to go straight into business with you, okay?
So let's do it.
This clip right here has Gator Nation. Look at that. I mean, Tyreak, you ready to kill somebody, baby? Talk to me. What's going through your emotions? How you feeling for this massive game against Tennessee?
I feel like that's just how my approach is almost to every game, because I feel like we finna get ready to go out to combat, like almost like not in like a war sense, but like we finna go out and fight. I'm finna go out and fight for my brothers, but I'm more or less crying for myself. I'm more or less crying for everybody else around me, because it's like I feel like just me myself. I'm not almost obligated, but I just want to do the best I can for my brothers. Like, it's more or less about me than it is about them. Like,
Sure.
I'm just, all my emotions just are pointed towards what can I do for these boys? What can I do to just help the team out in the best way and the most physical and like in the most dominant way possible, and just try to focus in on those emotions. But yeah, the emotions high, it's just a lot running through my mind, and the thing is you want to do good for your brothers on that big stage. So it's just a lot that's running through my mind. And I understand the situation, but you gotta come to a point too as well where I can control those emotions and use them throughout the game. And I think I did that well too.
I'm speechless here. You got chills going down my back, man. Just hearing you talk about that. We talked about that with Stephen Harris yesterday about playing for the guys around you, right? And that's where things start to click. And so that leads me to my next question. There's obviously been a massive change from last year to this year, right?
Yeah.
Defensively, offensively. What is it? Is it the coaching? Is it just the brotherhood? Is it a little bit of everything? Talk to us about that. Like, what's going on behind the scenes?
I can say I feel like we have gotten better on all cylinders, but one thing that is a trade-off that I always tell people, I feel like this is a real brotherhood now. We have people that like the guys, of course, like, we have a bond, but now this bond is stronger. We actually care about each other. We we can come and have hard conversations with each other and actually bring up things and actually bring up problems, but not just have problems and be able to talk about them, having problems and being able to solve them. So I think that's like one of the main things. And then like I tell you right now, from this year, last year, it's not even like a talent trade off, because I feel like last year I had a way more talented team. Like, but talent is just like a first step, because only talent can take you so far. I'd rather have a team full of dogs than rather just a team full of talented guys any day. And I've experienced it before in my life plenty of times. So I understand that circumstances goes, but just the trade off from last year to this year, it just how the brotherhood is, and how we are so comfortable with holding each other accountable, holding each other to a standard, and understanding like it's gonna take these hard things. We're gonna have like some days I'm not gonna like you. Some days you just not gonna be rocking with me, but it's for the best of the team, and it's for the greater good. So we understand that, and that dynamic has been, and we have been harping on that dynamic for a long time, and just kind of like just burning that into our minds that when problems happen and when things pop up, we have to get on them now and we have to act now. So I feel like we've done a better job of that, and we're closer for that, and we appreciate each other more for that.
Yeah, obviously going into the first week of the season, the Utah game, it didn't go the way that we wanted it to. I don't like to make excuses for the first week of the season or anything like that, but obviously you have a loss like that, and you go on to McNeese, you win that one. You go on to Tennessee. A lot of people, even me, and I'll admit it, I was just like, I don't know how they're going to match up against their front seven, and you guys completely dominated their front seven. So, I just going into that game and having that loss, was that kind of a little bit of a driving force, that Utah game, or was it more of the collaboration of everybody being on the same page and just trying to get rid of that ugly Utah loss out of their minds and then kind of just ride out the rest of the season?
I could say it's a mixture of both. It's like, we lost to Utah, but that doesn't determine our whole season or how our season could go and the success that we can have. So let's not let that affect our success, but let's the success that we could have in our drive, but let's let that motivate us, and let's remember that loss and remember the feeling that we had from that, and let's work to not have that feeling again. And I think that was like a big motivation. And then guys just rallying up. It's all about how the game affects you, and how you react to certain situations. I think everybody responded really well. Just got right back to work and understood that we're not going to change what we do. We still going to come in every day, Sunday through Saturday, and work hard and work our butts off to get the result that we want. Regardless, there's no judging, there's no pointing fingers, there's no blame, there's no shame in the loss either, because we win together, we lose together. There's no shame in it. So we have to take that for what it is. You got to be able to take that to the chin and have some humility, and then going through the next week and work even harder. And then even with your success, you can't get too high. So you got to be able to take those and be able to keep going and be able to push and be able to improve as a person, like just because that's going to build character and that's going to help you be a better player overall. And the thing is, when you play for Florida, and that's why one of the reasons I came here, when you play for Florida, when you lose, everybody's gonna hate you, and everybody's gonna say you're the worst ever. And when you win, everybody's gonna treat you like you just won a national championship or you're a national championship caliber team. So that's the kind of hard dynamic about playing here, and that's why I love it.
I was about to say, you started that off with like, the reason I played here or came here is because if you lose, they hate you. But if you win, it's like a national championship. So you love that dynamic of, look, I know it's going to be a dog-eat-dog world, but I want that pressure.
I want that. I love that pressure, because it's only going to force me to become a better person, a better player, by me being able to block that out and just focus on my team and not worry about what everybody else has to say, because everybody's going to have an opinion regardless if the Florida Gators lose or the Florida Gators win. It's either going to be good or it's going to be bad. So we got to do our best to keep up with our routine and keep us going. We got to wake up every day with that mentality that we got to get better today, and we got to help each other. It's not just about helping ourselves. We got to get better for each other. I get better for my brother, you get better for me, and all of a sudden we on Saturday and we all having not just team success but individual success.
He's got that Gator in him. That's what I would tell you.
You know what I'm
Man,
saying, babe? He got that Gator in him, baby. He's ready to go, man. Oh, dude, I'm enjoying hearing you talk about this. I know everyone else is. You keep referring back to. You made the comment of you don't feel the talent level is as good as what it was last year because a lot of guys went to the NFL, but the team seems more cohesive, right?
yes, exactly.
I mean, how much can you tell? What changed from last year to this year? Like, what's the biggest? Was it just going through the motions again? New leadership stepping up? What was the kind of like the clicking factor for y'all?
It's the leadership for sure, but not saying we had bad leaders because I had like one of my favorite teammates ever on last year's teams, which is Ventrell Miller, and
Sure.
that's a guy I would let him he can I would go to war with him. I would go anywhere with him anywhere and not have a fear, not have a drop of fear in my heart for that guy because that's like one of the leaders that made me want to step up and be a leader. He encouraged me a lot, so not to say any bad things about those guys, but the leadership has gotten better and that spot has gotten better. So and then with even like, just even our quarterback situation, just having a guy that is a little bit more poised and does put a little bit extra effort into kind of understanding the mental part of the game and then like helping us out as a team, just pushing us, like that's like one of the great factors of it. But the talent level, like I don't think I can tell you right now, just being true, we don't have the talent we did last year. We don't have big Javon that year. We don't have Ventrell Miller or Marius
Sure.
Bernie. We just don't. But the thing is, it's not like you can't make it work.
Sure.
It's not like you can't. It's not like you can't make it work. It's not like it isn't possible. So that's what we go off of. And that's what we feed off of every day. And we understand that week by week, if we stay consistent, if we just push every week, that we can get better and we can improve and we can be better than we were, even with that talent. Even though we had that talent, we can be better than we were.
I think so. What's something actually very powerful about that? Because some people might take that as like a negative, and I'm not taking that. I don't think that's the case at all. Saying we're not as talented. Those guys are NFL talent players, but it's a humbleness of like, look, we're not there yet, but we're going to be. But while we're not there, we're going to link up. We're going to sync up. We're going to believe that we can get this done because we can still win football games. That we had the talent last year and we couldn't win football games, so that wasn't it.
Exactly.
Right? So that's huge. And again, this is why I get so excited for college football. And everyone always like, Shelton, who are you picking this week? It's always going to be the orange and blue, baby, because it's college football. We play the games for a reason. Each week is gonna differ from week to week. How has it been under Coach Third? We call him Third Advisor. So if you want to pass that along, by all means. But our Coach Armstrong, how has it been playing underneath him, and what has he been able to bring?
It's been great, and then he has my type of mentality as a defensive coordinator, as a defensive coach. He has that defensive mentality. Some defensive coaches, they're kind of a little timid, and he doesn't. Like if you look at him, he doesn't look like the guy that's kind of got a little fire. He doesn't look. That's the main word. He doesn't look like it, but that guy right there, he brings that fire. He brings that intensity, and then he brings honesty too. Because in order to play defense, like especially here at Florida and the history you have defense, you got to be real with yourself, and you got to let yourself know every day how it went and what could I do better, and am I giving all I got? And he's gonna tell us, and he's gonna let us know every day if we met our standard, if we didn't, because every day with him is about meeting our standard, and if we don't, he's gonna let us know. But then at the end of the day, he's gonna tell us like, it's always another day, and there's always air and opportunity out. So yes, today happened, but we always have another opportunity to go out and hold that standard. So I like him, in that sense, and he just brings a lot of fire, and the things that he likes to do on defense and things he likes to do with his defense, the way he manipulates the front and the coverages, and he makes it a whole lot easier to play defensive line for him, and then he puts us in position to make plays, and that's just one of the main things. He's a great.
Oh no, we lost him.
Oh, there he is.
There.
You probably got a phone call. Sometime. You're good. Go ahead, man.
Nah, for sure. But yeah, man, Coach Armstrong he's been a great addition to our staff, and an even greater addition, like just for the defensive players overall, all of us. And we're just trying to get as much knowledge from him, and him just helping us.
getting blown up now.
and like and just understanding like the dynamic of what's going on. Like really, just a lot.
Yeah.
Just
So
it's he doesn't put a lot. He gives us a lot to look forward to. He puts a lot on our plate, but he doesn't make it like a burden. He doesn't make it a burden if things don't go wrong. Things don't go right. If things do go wrong, he understands like we gonna have to take some punches. Like it's gonna happen. So it's all about what we do to respond, and I love that about him.
So I want to ask you, man, what's one thing that Austin? He's obviously you've talked to him and all that, and you've had conversations. What's one thing that stuck with you that Austin Armstrong has told you, whether he's yelled at you on the field or whether he's talked to you in the locker room? What's one thing that's just really stuck with you throughout just the season so far?
One thing I can say that stuck with me with what he said. I think like when he first got here, I remember like our first meeting with him, like he was real juiced up, like about the situation, like about our what's gonna be like one of the best defenses ever assembled at Florida. Like we went into that situation, but then he talked about like getting out of yourself and getting into the team because like I think he understood like think I think everybody should understand like as a football player like you kind of got like almost 3 or 4 separate lives. Like you got your family life, you got your social life with your friends, then you have obviously we all go to school every day, like have classes every day and have things. But then he always told us that stuff with me like when you come into this building, you step out yourself. That's something I always understood as a player, but he kind of emphasized like stepping out of yourself and stepping into the team, like all your selfish ways or anything selfish or anything just that's just not beneficial for us. We gotta leave that at the door and then come in with the humility, being ready to be coached up, being ready to, just be able to give your all for the team. And then I feel like all in all, that's everything we preach and kind of like just a short spurt. All in all, that's kind of everything we want. We just want everybody to come out of themselves and into the team because we got the guys. We have enough talent. We got enough Gators to go out there and put forth that work and and just to be the best that we can be. So that's one of the main things that stuck with me. He said like we come out of ourselves and into the team. Everything that we do is gonna either make the team better or make us worse. So you gotta want to be on that side that makes the team better.
And I think you expressed that in this video clip here again, that just playing outside of yourself, right? Bigger than yourself. So it's great that the message that, Armstrong is preaching is getting across to you guys as well. Quick, before Dave has another question, quick super chat from Tyler Cole. He says, Tyreak, fantastic game. Love the energy you bring. What is your go-to diet routine after practice, and what is your favorite meal? Go Gators. From Tyler Cole in the chat.
Oh, y'all don't. I don't think fans or any other athletes want to take diet suggestions from me. I'll be the one to tell you right now. I'm not kind of the one you should ask for diet suggestions because I'll tell you right now, God has blessed me with some genetics that are out of this world, and I tell you right now, I don't eat right every day. I try my hardest. Like go to after a game. Like it'll be late night. So McDonald's. like go like and I order a big order. And I'm not afraid. The thing is, I'm not afraid to admit this. Like I probably drink soda every other day. Like my diet. Like I just don't tell. I don't suggest it to people. Like yeah, I'm a supreme athlete. I'm a superb athlete. All that's good. But like that's.
Hey, look, to be
I
fair,
try.
Ocho Cinco swears by the McDonald's diet, and
Oh
DK
yeah.
Metcalf eats
Oh yeah.
Skittles, so it works.
Oh yeah. Ocho. Oh yeah. It's either I'm with Ocho versus science. I'm on the
Yeah.
side of Ocho.
Even Marshawn Lynch,
Ocho versus science. Hmm?
Marshawn Lynch likes Skittles, and he was running people over all the time.
Man. One thing I try to eat more home cooked meals, but like they don't consist of like I got fruit here, I got a vegetable here, I got my protein, and I got my carbs. Nah, it ain't set up like that.
I love that answer. I bet Tyler was like, man, I'm gonna get some good advice here. Tyreek's like, hey,
Nah,
hit him with a Big
I don't
Mac.
have it for you. I don't have it for you. I could tell you like you can keep a consistent base in your diet. Like just make sure you have carbs. Make sure you have green leafy greens. Like our nutritionist tells us, make sure you have some carbs, some leafy greens, and some protein. Like other than
Well, I
that, I don't know.
was about to say, I think you got the
Other,
carbs taken care of.
yeah, exactly,
I love it. Go ahead, Dave.
exactly.
Hey, Tyreek, Florida Victorious Foundation does a lot of work for a lot of charity work and all that. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the work you do for the Florida Victorious Foundation?
Oh man, I do a lot of great work for the Florida Victorious Foundation. I think it's a cool opportunity because you get to go into these different places in different areas where people are not as fortunate as us. So we get to go help out at the Bread of the Mighty Food Bank, and they take in food. They get food from so many different food donors around the city and around the nation, from either Publix or just anywhere that they have they get surplus, and they able to provide families with food. They're able to provide families, like it's almost like a little grocery store. Families who aren't as fortunate, they get to go in there, and who have like food shame, they get to go in there and kind of pick what food they want and kind of be able to have a luxury that they don't really get to have on the regular. Get to have a nice luxury of being able to have that food, because sometimes people are like kind of shameful of that, and they don't feel comfortable talking about it. So people don't have that luxury of just having food around, and we help with that. We go there and we help them sort their food and do all types of things around the building. And then with the I go to the YMCA. Oh, my fault. I go to the we go to the YMCA, and we go during the summer, go there, play games with the kids, and really just show them a good time that they don't really have. A lot of these kids are like inner city kids who probably don't have like an older male role model in their lives. And so we try to be that. We go there and we set great examples for them and have fun with them and just give them an opportunity to like just let loose and just be kids and have fun. We let them rough us up and, do whatever, because we understand like if we were their age and we wanted that, that's exactly what we wanted. That's the type of person that we would want to come around. So we try to be that for them and help them out. And it's just such a blessing that we get the opportunity to go out and do that. And then even with the YMCA, we teach kids swimming lessons that are 5 and older, because and 5 and below, and 5 and older, because in Florida, kids from age 5 to 12, like it's a high drowning rate for kids that are 5 to 12. So we go there and we teach them how to swim, and we get in the pool with them. We have a fun pool day, and we just show them different things, and we just help them out. And just most importantly, we try to make sure they pick up something from it. So that's just one of the great things. I love like being around kids and seeing that spark in their eye, and like I know that goes a long way for them. Even though it might seem like something little to us, it takes they take that and they take that to heart, and that goes a long way with those kids. And like I really I enjoy doing it, because I almost like I appreciate it myself, because it's like, man, like I know a lot of kids like they need this in their life, and I'm glad I'm able to provide that.
Yeah, again, it makes you appreciate what you really have. And like you said, you're making an impact. We got a little sister. She's at UF now, but something happened like 5-6 years ago that I did, and she remembered it. She brought it up like a year ago. She's like, man, one time we did this, and I was like, you remember that? It's like this small thing. Yeah, and it had an impact on them. So it's really cool when you can go and you're just being yourself, right? You're just giving your time to go spend with them, and you're making a huge impact. But it's also good for you as well, because you're able to learn a lot. But then I'm sure being with your players and such, just again continuing to grow that bond that you were referring to at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, exactly. And then it helps us as teammates build a bond, because we go in there, it helps you build a little bit of patience with kids. You're around different kids, different ages, different spectrums of kids. Like kids are, especially like younger kids, like the dynamic of younger kids and their minds is so different from ours. And like when you interact with them, like because you don't get an opportunity to interact with children often, it's kind of wild. And like kids that age are very funny. They're very
They say some crazy stuff, man. It's wild.
Man, kids don't have a filter. It's not even their fault though. It's not even their fault. You can't even fault them.
It's fun. We have a great super chat here from Daryl Wilkes Jr., man, $10. Says, how did Tyreak the Freak 2.0 like the former Gator Legends, Brandon Spike, Steve Harris, Lewis Murphy on the sideline this past week? Well, Brandon is now a coach, but how was that, man? How was having that old Gator energy on the sidelines?
I loved it because it showed me kind of like the fire that they played with, and they gave me a little, and they gave me a little bit of that spark, and that's what made me go because. And that's what I understand. I understand like those games, they stretch far, way more bigger. They're bigger than me. I always tell them like it's bigger than us. We got so many other people to hold this standard for that have put on this orange and blue. And it means the world to me to go out there and just represent for them like what that orange and blue really means and to have them actually on the sideline, which is awesome. And then to have these spikes in the building every day is freaking motivating. Like it's one of the most motivating things you can have because he's one of those guys like even though he's not playing the game anymore, he brings that same intensity and that same fire, and you feel it every day. And I love having him at practice, having him just critique our guys. He helps our linebackers out. He helps out with our linebackers. He's just out there, just being himself. He'll let us know if we're slacking. He'll let us know if we're doing good, doing bad, not giving enough. He'll let us know if that's not enough because he understands the Gator standard because he was here at a time where the Gators were the standard. So
Sure.
I love having him on, and he keeps us up and he helps us understand like what it means to put on that orange and blue, and then what it means just to play Gator defense. Like go out there and play defense and have fun and let loose and let go. Because you put a lot of work in, it can be stressful, but then he lets you know like on Saturday, that's where you go and you have fun, you let loose and you be yourself. Like you be yourself, you be exactly what the Gators got you to come here to be. And you go out there and you do that, you have fun, you enjoy it every moment. You go out there, you're looking into that swamp, like you just enjoy every moment of it with a smile on your face because Lord knows the younger you looks back at it and it's like the younger you'll tell the younger you like, man, this is like incredible, just keep working. So it's just a great experience. He always just tells us just get ready, prepare during the week, prepare hard during the week so you can have fun on Saturday. And that's what we've been doing.
I love it. Tyreak, I could have this interview all day with you. You were an absolute blast to talk with, and you have so much incredible insight. I want to make sure they know where to follow you because obviously I had a hard time finding you on Twitter. I got a couple more questions, man, and then we'll let you go.
No, for
I
sure.
want to get your take on the stadium on Saturday. You've been there for quite some time now.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be number one in the book, right? That's thus far.
Woo! Oh yeah, that's number one. And I played at probably the second loudest was what it was. We went to Neyland last year and played Tennessee, but
Yeah.
I understand why that was loud. They're trying to figure out how can they beat big bad Florida for the first time in some years. Like if we are big bad Florida, trying to figure out how to do that. And so I knew their fans were going to come with it. That was probably other than that, being in the swamp is nothing like it because it's electrifying. It's almost like an experience and explaining myself. It's an experience that I can't even explain myself because like you can't explain it with words because those get like when I was coming here as a recruit, I came to a game. It was one game I came to. I don't know if y'all remember this. It was Auburn 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It was Auburn 2019. And what's the running back? P. Ryan, he busted a run down the sideline. I'm sitting there right about a tunnel. Oh my God, you can't even hear yourself think. And then my experience from playing in the swamp last year, literally, you gotta make like Ventrell was literally his voice would be gone after the game trying to get us the calls. Like his voice would be gone. Ventrell's voice would be literally gone after the games because like he's literally walking up to the line of scrimmage yelling. Like it is so loud in the swamp, but I love it though, and that's our 12th man, and it's very effective, and we make sure we use it. We abuse that 12th man. We don't just use it. We make sure we abuse it, and it's just no place like it because it's just a place where the fans are either gonna love you that night or they're gonna hate you. So we play our heart out where they love us, and then we make that swamp loud, and the fans bring it every time. And I love our Gator fans. We got real hardcore fans, and I found that out a long time ago.
Yeah, and look, I think that video that posted of you kind of we showed earlier, definitely the fan base for Sapp grew, and I can imagine this interview. You're going to be they're going to clip it. We're going to clip it. You're going to be a fan favorite, man, for sure. Definitely one of my favorites. Now getting to talk to you, watching you play. I mean, how could you not love the number 94? Just the energy that you play with, the passion. I had Stephen Harris on last night or 2 nights ago, and we talked about just getting back to that Gator standard, right? And it feels like it's been missed for the last few years. And Saturday night felt like it was the first time where it was like everyone's playing literally for the orange and blue, and like this is the standard that it should be at. Do you feel that that's where it's headed?
Yeah,
and has Billy done? Has Billy been able to bring that back, or has it been a collective effort?
I feel like it's a collective effort. It's a work in progress. I know, and we all have that's why I say, we all have the loyalty and the honesty to tell each other, and to be honest with each other, and Coach Napier be honest with us, he knows, we're not there yet, but we're getting there. And he wants it bad for us, and we want it bad for ourselves. So I think just that and that will and that want to can take us a long way, just pushing that and him understanding he's just now getting into the swag of the Gators, just that swag. He gotta always, because we get on him. We got sometimes as leaders, the leaders of the team. We talk to Coach Napier, we're hey, trust me, we love how you're very because Coach Napier is a very organized man, and he's very detailed. But we sometimes we gotta tell him, Coach, we're Florida, we're real rugged, we're a rugged team. We go out there, we swag out, it's kind of we let it hang, we let it go, it's not too much of a
like a military
and
ram.
he understands. Yeah, exactly, and he understands that. And one thing I love about him, he takes our feedback and he applies it. He lets us go out there and be ourselves. He lets us go out there and be ourselves. He doesn't hold us back. He tells us to push the envelope. He tells us to push it to the edge, but within the rules of the game and win with class. And that's one thing I love about him. Playing for Florida, you want to dominate the team, but then you want to win with class. I love being able to beat a team and then going over there, just going ahead and shake his hand right quick. I just want to shake your hand, look in your eye, tell you good game. That's one, and the crazy thing is that's more demoralizing. That's more demoralizing to me for anyone. I feel like it's more demoralizing for anyone to get beat up and then have the guy come tell you, hey man, great game. Love the way you played, rather than me beat you up and then be like, boo, you suck, bro. I feel like it touches you to the core more.
It's so true. Yeah. I love how you're saying that Billy has a little bit of his swagger, because I've been noticing it. He's feeling like he's getting a little more confident, and I love hearing the fact that the back and forth, right? And you're right. Florida you have to have that swagger and kind of just that rawness. That's what makes it great, right? You can't be just
That's what makes Florida. That's why I say that's what makes Florida Florida. And then me being a kid from Florida, I try to bring that Florida swag every day, especially being from South Florida. You gotta bring that sauce, you gotta bring that heat, and being from the crib, I take pride in that. Cause I call this the crib. This my home. A lot of people like to call Miami the crib. No, UF is the crib, because I feel we do it the right way. You gonna come here and you gonna play football. You gonna see football done the right way.
Yeah, I'm ordering a Sapp jersey after the show. It's a wrap. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry, I'm picking one up from the store.
I was about to say Miami can't even fill their stadium with 300 fans, so it doesn't even matter. So.
Man, and then they have to share it with the Dolphins. I'll be dang if I have to share my stadium with the Jacksonville Jaguars or somebody. I just don't want to. I wouldn't want to play there. That's sacred ground. Nobody can play in that stadium. Nobody.
Well,
that's how you wrap it up.
Yeah, that's how you wrap it up.
Real quick, Jacob Spencer gave us a $10 super chat. Says, "Love you, man." He's asking about the spark and the chemistry. We talked about that earlier, Jacob. If you mentioned it, he kind of mentioned that a little bit. So I'm not ask you it again. And real quick, one last one from John Wilcox, and then I want you to tell them where they can find you, Tyreak.
Okay.
It says, what was the message from Cam Jackson about practice this week? Do you know what he's referring to?
Oh yeah, Cam was just pressing on we gotta take the same approach, because in this game it's all about approach. And if you take your foot off the gas and you approach these weeks differently, and you will be the same person. I always tell folks I'd rather prepare the right way, go into a game, win. Like, is it like, say from an offense perspective, I'd rather go in the right way, win 10-0 than a clean game, and rather blow somebody out 70-0 and go out there and play the football,
Sloppy.
like play a sloppy game. You don't want
Sure.
that. You want to approach every week the same. You want to push the same things. The only thing about winning and losing, winning minimizes your problems. Losing magnifies them. So you gotta still, as a winner, you gotta still look at those problems and get to solving them. So we still looking at our problems that we have and getting to solve them this week. It's just that, the winner is going to minimize them. But we, looking from our perspective, we're going to maximize them. We're going to harp on them. So we just trying to take advantage of the time and work on it and work on those things. But, yeah, just the approach Cam talked about, just the approach, you got to go out this week and try to dominate every day. And eventually that leads to domination on Saturday, and which is what you always want to have in the swamp. So that's what we're looking forward to bringing.
Well, Tyreak, man, again, I can't thank you enough for coming on here. This has been an absolute blast. We'd love you to have you again. I know you're busy, but I know that.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
No, really, really do appreciate you. This has been an absolute pleasure. You're phenomenal. You're phenomenal on the football field. A lot of insight. I know that the fans really appreciate it. I know. I got goosebumps listening to you, man. It was a blast here. And look, man, it's exciting to see that it's back. Us as fans, we get a little rambunctious, like you said. When you lose it, we're not too happy about it. But when you're winning, baby, we love you. And we love you, man. But look, man, we're going to always support you. Tell them where they can find you so they can keep up with you if you're much on social media.
You can find me on Twitter at you should be able to put in a lightning bolt, then Tyreak Sapp, then another lightning bolt, and then on Instagram is 99_nightmares on Instagram.
Awesome. 550 people in here, boys and girls. Smash the like button. Go show Tyreak some love, and go.
Yeah,
Hey,
man,
can we get a go chomp and a go Gators?
Yeah, sir. Here we
He's
go,
holding the
baby.
Oh, we're gonna make him chomp.
I am no. We good.
You're good. Look, you got the Gator right there. He's like, look.
Here, well, that's unless he calls back in, we're just gonna go to Connor Clark. Wait, he's calling back. He's calling back. Hold on. He's back.
Hold on. I wasn't gonna leave. No, I wasn't gonna leave out without doing that. I wasn't gonna leave out without doing it. Y'all ready?
I love it.
Go Gators, man. Go Gators.
Right over the left, babies. I love it. I appreciate you calling back, man. Thank you, man. Go Gators, Tyreak. Be good. Hey, tear him up Saturday.
Y'all. Good night. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Tyreak.
Night, man. Connor?
Now we got to bring on
Hollywood.
What's going on, y'all?
What is up, Big Pimpin'? How you doing, man?
That was one hell of an interview, man.
How we do?
Tyreak brought the energy.
Connor Clark approved? Like what, out of 10? Give us the review. 1 out of 10.
94.
Well,
there you go.
Well said. Well said.
You like what I did there? You like what I did
sharp as a
there? All
tack.
right.
So let's real quick. I got a story time for Connor and I. Connor, you'll appreciate this. Connor will appreciate this.
Okay.
So I went to the Utah game last year, and I think I went to one other game, and I don't recall which one it was. And then this year I went to Tennessee. At the Utah game, you happened to be walking by during our show and hopped on the show. Do you remember? I want to say I saw you at the other one passing by. Both Friday Night Lights events that we go to, we ran into one another. And then at Tennessee, we're standing in the champions box, and I'm going nuts. And I look over, 90,000 strong, and it's Connor Clark. You can't make this stuff up, boys and girls. Like, what are we doing here? Unreal.
You're just running everywhere you go.
Unreal. We're meant to be.
Listen. We're having a great time. So, I mean, what's better than when you look across the aisle or look over to your right or to your left and you see somebody having as good or better a time than you are. So, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anybody get as hype as Shelton during a football game. And I've been around some wild people. So I know Valen was kind of matching your energy out there. He was doing a fantastic job.
Man,
it was a great time. We had a ball.
So Sheldon's like a
know.
10 plus.
Let them know. I always bring the Thunder boys. They know how it is. I like to get buck rowdy with it. Look, man, let's do this. Also, we've been doing a lot of giveaways. Real quick, Connor, I want to have you on here in case you want to enter for this giveaway. Let me go over to this really quick. Hey, Steve. Steve will be on. Steve will be on a little bit. We're going back over here though. We're doing a giveaway we're teaming up with Best Buddies. It's a local program here in St. Augustine. It's going to be on October 13th. They're doing an event, a cornhole tournament. If you want to sign up for that, it's $100 per team. It's going to be at the Ancient City Brewery off of 16. Here's where you can get involved though. We're going to be doing a giveaway, a signed Tim Tebow helmet. All right. How you enter to win? There is a link in the description. For every $20 that you donate, you will receive 2 tickets, 2 entries in to win the Tim Tebow helmet, and all proceeds will be given to Best Buddies. We're taking High Top is donating the helmet, so all proceeds will be going straight to Best Buddies. It's an absolute incredible program. We've teamed up with them before. We actually did like a little putt-putt tournament with them, so love this program. Love my buddy who is running it as well. So again, link is in the description. Click on it. We'll go to your email, so we'll have your contact. $20, get you 2 tickets to win a signed Tim Tebow helmet. Absolutely incredible giveaway. We'll be talking all about it up until the event, which is October 13th, and we'll be doing the giveaway on October the 13th. So that's all I had to say about that. I just wanted to pump that out there. Again, if you guys buy anything now, I'll know. He'll text me, so we'll give you guys a shout-out if you buy a entry right now. Mr. Connor Clark, talk to us, man. How did you feel about the game on Saturday? What were your takeaways? Let's talk about defense first.
Yeah, I think defense was probably my biggest worry going into that game. I mean, not that the unit hasn't performed well throughout the season,
Sure.
but you're walking into an animal that you haven't seen before with the tempo and the athletes on the outside that Tennessee has that you didn't see from a Utah. You didn't see obviously from a McNeese State. So I was thoroughly impressed by what we saw on Saturday night. Florida had no trouble with the tempo. They were getting their calls in quickly, getting everybody lined up. I think you kind of saw early in the game a little bit of a struggle, I think, on the first drive, getting sideline to sideline with those running back motions out for those quick screens, and then a couple of the pick plays that they got caught up on. But, I mean, after that first drive, they really settled in and really locked down. I was – and you mentioned Cam Jackson with Tyreak. I was probably most impressed with the play of him and Scooby Williams. So Scoob and I spoke with Brandon Carroll on his YouTube show before the season, and we kind of I was a little down on Scooby because I hadn't seen him play off-ball linebacker at a high level yet, and I knew that's what they were trying to transition him to do, and he was an outside linebacker coming out of high school. Man, he made me all kinds of wrong. He's playing phenomenal this year. He's been able to prove that he can go sideline to sideline, play off ball, and he was really probably one of 3 of the top players in that game, along with Cam Jackson and then my guy from Orlando, Jordan Castell. But Cam Jackson, man, what a grown man in the middle there. He was all night consistently eating up double teams, shedding blocks, and making plays. Really, really impressed with how the defense played. And I think other than playing against Georgia, obviously in Jacksonville, that's probably the most talented team from a skill position perspective that you're going to go up against this year, and they prove that they can do it.
Yeah, we talked about the show beforehand, the amount of top guys they had in the PFF. I mean, that on both sides of the ball, both in the trenches, was definitely their strong suit. So Dave picked Tennessee. I don't know if you knew this or not. We haven't talked about it too much, but a lot of the concern, again, was the battle of the trenches. How would Florida prevail? And I think they did a phenomenal job. And linebacker play is something we have talked about throughout this entire offseason as well. I was excited about it because I knew the depth would be there. Quality was going to be a big question mark, but quantity, which can sometimes make up for quality. But, man, Scoobs and Shamar James are really stepping up into that role that Ventrell Miller carried on his back for quite some time. So that's exciting. I mean, like you said, getting sideline to sideline, the speed was – it looked like it did on the orange and blue game. That twitch speed, it felt like we lacked in that Utah game, was back in full action on Tennessee. And Jordan Castell was excited. I'm glad that everyone saw, like, being up top, dude, I loved being up there. I felt like I was watching the the film tape, right? You could see everything. So I didn't know how much people could really see what Castell was doing because the TV gets there a little bit late. But just his vision, it felt like he was playing out of body in a sense. You know what I mean? Like how well he was doing.
Listen, man, I've been pushing the 407 agenda for a long time, being a homegrown Orlando guy. Jordan Castell is making my agenda look flawless. That young man is unbelievable. True freshman, starting at safety from day one. And I believe, if I'm not incorrect, Jordan Castell has graded out as the highest rated player for Florida's entire team through the first 3 games.
Like an 80, I think it was, on PFF.
He graded out at an 83.5 against Tennessee, and I think overall for the season he's slightly over 80 if we're talking PFF grades.
Freshman, boys.
I actually ran some PFF stats on him. He's had the most snaps of the defensive player, 136, 16 total tackles, 6 assisted, only 2 missed tackles he's had this whole time. So he's had an 8.3% missed tackle rate, 46 yards he's given up in coverage, 1 pass breakup. I mean, you can't ask for more from a safety right there. I mean, like he's not giving up a lot of yardage. He's barely missing any tackles. And the guy's all over the field. You can just see the speed and awareness that Jordan Castell has. And it's amazing for a kid like him to come in as a true freshman and be able to have the, I mean, look at our safety play for the past 3-4 years. I mean, it's been non-existent. He comes in as a freshman and he completely just annihilates any of the numbers from the past 4 years that any of the other safeties have put up. So within, of course, through 3 games, and we'll see what he does throughout the season. But I have high hopes for him, man. Like he's all over the field.
Yeah, he's been absolutely phenomenal. And I think the one play that everybody's going to single out, and rightly so, was that deep ball that he broke up for Tennessee. And he played that like a seasoned veteran, not like a true freshman. A lot of times the true freshman gets beat like that. They panic. They just drag the receiver down from behind. He didn't. He trusted his technique, got back in phase with the receiver, located the ball, and then made a play. That right there tells you how mature the young man is and makes me very, very confident to say this next thing. Jordan Castell will have a brick outside the swamp before he leaves.
There you go.
Let's go. And look, what I love about it is, I mean, Cruton, because it's always Cruton season, boys. I don't know if y'all knew this or not. Speaks volumes to the recruits that were there. And also, too, something that I've been beating the drum on. We've been pretty high on Billy, especially, Jubilee weekend has passed. And his ability to evaluate talent. If that doesn't tell you that, hey, he's got this thing dialed in. Because I remember when Castell committed, at the time, was it exciting? Sure. But he didn't have the same hype as some of the other guys from that class. Now we're over here beating the drum for number 14. Eugene Wilson had a lot of hype coming out of high school. I mean, that guy you were smashing. You were just like, yo, this is going to be him. But Castell, not as loud. And again, for somebody to come in and step in like that, we started to hear murmurs as the season went on. But seeing it live, big primetime game, you can't beat it, man. Absolutely incredible. Let's talk a little bit about the offense. The offense got a little stale at the second half. I think there was reason for it. And I think Tyreak kind of even just mentioned that is Billy has his ways of doing things, which I talked to a lot of people this weekend that are close with Billy and just the organization in general. And they spoke to how he is very organized and straight to the point, right? So was that kind of just, look, here's our game plan. We're not going to go outside of that. I don't care about scoring 70 points. We're going to keep it vanilla. Also, too, you got to think, like, I'm not trying to blow the whole playbook out of the water here. We can win this football game by just staying in our lane. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the first to admit I was a little skeptical about the going overly conservative in the second half. I do think the one thing that it does speak to the most, and Billy even mentioned it after his press conference where he said, I think I did go maybe a little bit too conservative, but that's okay. I mean, you got the job done. I would have liked to see him try to put them away early in the second half, maybe put up a couple more touchdowns and really blow this thing out. But it speaks to his comfort and his trust in the defense in being able to shut down Tennessee's offense. You go into the second half up, 26-7.
Yep.
Really just try to and the biggest thing I think that I noticed going into this is Tennessee has this high-powered offense that's supposed to be able to score within about a couple minutes. The first drive coming out of second half, Tennessee had to take 6.5 minutes off the clock to score 3 points. And that's Florida's defense bending but not breaking, giving up 3 points, but really forcing Tennessee to work at their pace as opposed to Tennessee forcing Florida to play at theirs.
Sure.
And that, I think, was the biggest thing that I saw defensively. So offensively, Billy knew if he could bleed some clock, they could easily get out of there with a W. Now, I think I would have liked to see them be a bit more aggressive. I think Graham Mertz hand injuries had a lot to do with it. I don't know if anybody saw, if you're able to watch back Shelton on television, but I think they zoomed in on Graham's hand was bleeding, on his throwing hand, and then I think about halfway through the third quarter or into the fourth quarter, he had to wear a glove on his non-throwing hand.
I heard about the glove.
He had because he had some injuries going on. So that could have just been his trust in the offensive line to move people, not trying to get his quarterback or put his quarterback into a position to succeed or to fail, I should say. And then, of course, the game that Trevor Etienne was having, just phenomenal. Yeah. What was it, 172 yards? Just keep feeding him. So I was a little disheartened about the overly conservative play calling, but I understand after coming back and seeing kind of what the situation was, and Billy's very adamant about situational football and stuff like that. I think the situation at that time dictated him being a little bit more conservative and then trusting that defense that had performed so well to that.
We got a couple of super chats. I'm not ignoring them. I'm going to get to those in just a second. But real quick, with your thoughts on Mertz, are you bought in? Are you full in? Like, this is our guy? Give the people at home some confidence here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, so yes, to answer short answer, yes, I'm bought in, and you can definitely tell that the team has bought in. Obviously, by the way that the end of that game went, somebody takes a shot at your quarterback, you go defend him. I know Billy kind of talked about it and says, hey, some guys made some mistakes, but man, I love to see your offensive line stand up for your quarterback and your signal caller and your leader like that. So yes, to answer your question very short, Graham Mertz is the guy. The team has bought in, coaches have bought in, and the fans should as well buy into Graham Mertz.
You heard it here first. He just said Mertz in so many words. Go ahead, David.
The thing that Graham Mertz is doing, he's doing everything right. Like, he's doing what's asked of him. I mean, we've seen him take a deep shot before in the McNeese State game. I'm sure we'll see more of that later on in the year. But right now, like I said, if your offensive line is pushing the defensive line around, they're pushing everybody around, and you're able to run the football like Etienne was, you don't really have to throw the ball. You just have to get first downs. Let your running backs do the work. If you can, you take less risk of turning over the football. You take less risk of injuring your quarterback as well. So I'm not opposed to that as long as your defense is playing very well. And I think, when they played conservative in that second half, I mean, it didn't really make me – I wish they would have put another touchdown up, like you said, but it didn't really make me any kind of nervous. And then when I went back and I looked, and we gave up 393 total yards against Tennessee. But when you're playing conservative like that, you're running the football, you're going to give Tennessee's offense the football a lot more. So they're going to rack up a little bit more yardage here and there. But when it came down to key third, fourth down stops, Florida was right there and was able to stop them from scoring on fourth down and get the ball back. So, I mean, I was okay with the game plan, but if Tennessee would have scored again, I would have been like, oh, crap. What are we doing? We played conservative here. But, man, Etienne, forcing I think it was 9 or 10 missed tackles. He was averaging 5 yards after contact, 172 yards. I mean, dude, this guy, you got to feed him the football. And it's nothing to take away from Montrell Johnson, because Montrell Johnson has proven to be a great back as well. But, man, Etienne's just got that different gear, and he can just make people miss tackles. And it's just – it's crazy.
We're blessed with the talent in the backfield. We're spoiled.
Exactly.
Absolutely spoiled. Real quick, guys, we have a bunch of super chats. I got to go over these because I don't want to leave these out here hanging. And then Chris G has a question about Cruton, which we're going into next. So I'm going to save his question, but he donated $20. So thank you, Chris. And he donated some more here. Dom said the show is rigged for $2. Thank you, Dom. And then he also said David is rigged. He's a fraud because he picked Tennessee. He couldn't agree more for $2. And then Ty Tendell says, for the W, baby, fuck Tennessee, which I'm always about, baby. Thank you for the $100 dono, Ty. Absolutely incredible. And then Chris G decided to be a G and donate $101 with some sunglass emojis. So you got to love that. It fires me up. Over 600 people in here, boys and girls. Smash the like button. And then Captain Trips says,
how about them Gators?
for $10 from Captain Trips. The chat is incredible. This family is unreal. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I love you guys.
I'm trying to look for a dunce cap for myself for picking Tennessee. I can't find one.
Yeah, you need to do something. I wish, like on Around the Horn, they freeze it. I wish I could put like a and freeze you just for like whenever I wanted to. Just because I'm so frustrated with you. Connor, recruiting always starting to heat back up a little bit. I mean, we only have so many spots, but the commit on Saturday night, which was awesome for 2025, the running back, Waltez Clark, got things rolling again in all, of course, 2024 and 2025. Jamonte Waller came out, talked about his visit. He's getting the 5-star nod now, the edge rusher, 6'4", I think. I'm kidding. It's ask on 3, they'll have it right. What are your feelings? LJ McCray, a lot of noise about him. Zay Mitzi, there's just a ton of noise about this class closing in. Jordan Seaton's getting a 5th star, right? So talk to us. What are we looking at? But let me ask you, hold on, sorry. Chris G has this question, and it's actually a really good question. So he gave us $20 and then 101. So let me ask this question. I don't feel horrible if I didn't ask it. He says, we add 2 more top 100 recruits in the 247 composite for the 24 class. How likely does this happen on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being never happening?
2 top 100 recruits, you said?
Yeah.
According to the 247 composite.
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 5.
1 being never happening. Oh, look at Connor's
1 being never going to happen and 5 being like lock it in kind of thing. Well, you guys are well aware of my feelings on locks in the recruiting process, so it's not going to be a 5.
Okay.
Lock.
Man, that's tough. I think Florida's in a really good spot for LJ McCray following the visit. His top 5 is really competitive. I think Florida's in a very good spot for Zay Mincy, another top 100 prospect. And I feel like they're kind of falling behind for Seaton, but that could change after he visits for, I believe it's the Vanderbilt game. So you've got really 3 shots there. I'm just going to play it right down the middle, and we'll say 3 out of 5.
I'll take it. I'll
say 3 out of 5 because
guys,
I think most likely is probably LJ McCray out of that group. Zay Mincy is somebody that I think Florida has a good shot at as well. And then I know they're not going to stop recruiting Jameer Grimsley, who I think at the end of the process will be a top 100 prospect. So there's a possibility that there could be a 4th runner for that group.
I like that because keep in mind, guys, Connor can't give us, his all his egg basket here, right? He's got to keep us locked in, and it is recruiting. So you got to throw those 2 things into the mix. You find us in a 3, I'll take it. It's not a 1. So great question, Greg, and thank you again for the dono. So back to my original question: Where are we at? What do we? I mean, you kind of answered it a little bit, but where else? Any other names that we need to keep an eye on, and how are we feeling this class closes? Any surprises?
Yeah, I don't think there's really going to be any surprises as of right now. You're sitting at 21 commits. I think Florida probably takes somewhere in the neighborhood of 25. Obviously, that's going to be guys, if you can land your guys like LJ McCray, Zay Mincy. They definitely want to add another offensive tackle. If it's not Seaton, it could be somebody like a Favor Edwin, who is kind of flying under the radar. He does have offers from Alabama and Auburn, but he's only been playing football for 6 months. He's at Eagles Landing Christian Academy in Georgia. 6'8", 295 pounds, just a freak of an athlete. Primarily a basketball guy before he made the transition over to football. That's somebody that they're recruiting. And then they did recently offer somebody out on the West Coast. I think he was like a San Diego State commit or something to that effect. So they want to add another offensive tackle. Then if it's the right guy, they could add another running back. And if it's the right guy, they could add another wide receiver.
Okay.
But I think you're probably looking somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 prospects this class, and then obviously use whatever spots they have left as far as the scholarship counters go in the portal going into spring ball.
Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that Connor said. I mean, he's the recruiting guy, but also I do a little bit of recruiting too. So I do agree with what he had said, but I would feel maybe a strong 4 from that 3.
Oh, okay. How and one last little thing about recruiting with that initial commit from 2025. I know this is super early, but we're already there. This is time to start recruiting for 2025. We're closing 2024. This is where you start to get momentum for 2025. How did that 2025 group of guys that visited on Saturday, is there any noise coming from that group, and how is this class starting to warm up for 2025? Any noise on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously getting your class started with a prospect like Waltez Clark is always a good thing. Top 150 composite for now, out of Tampa plant. And a kid that can play a little bit of everything. I'm not sure if you guys saw, but Keith Niebuhr of On3 did a interview with his high school coach at Plant, said they use Waltez all over the place because they don't want to overwork him at running back. So his running back numbers aren't going to pop like, say, someone like a Kanan Daniels does this year. But Waltez Clark is going to be a fantastic running back. He can catch out of the backfield. He plays wide receiver, safety, quarterback, linebacker for Plant. So he's somebody that's a great asset to have because he can do a little bit of everything. One of their top quarterback targets, Ryan Montgomery out of Findlay, Ohio, was on campus for the Tennessee game, said the visit was fantastic, was able to stay Sunday as well to talk with Coach Napier and Coach O'Hara, break down some film with them. And he said that was phenomenal, really enjoyed that. And then another top 25 quarterback, Antoine Hill from Houston County, Georgia, another one that was on campus, said he had a great time. And I think there's a couple other names for 2025. I think the one that I'm probably keeping the closest eye on right now is linebacker Tarvis Alford. He's at Vero Beach High School now, somebody that a lot of people thought was close to committing to Florida over the summer, then picked up an offer from Ohio State, picked up a couple other offers and kind of slowed things down. Jay Bateman's done a fantastic job recruiting that young man. And then obviously seeing guys like Shamar, Scoob, even Taraja Mitchell, Manny Nunnery, and how they've performed at the linebacker position this year, I think is a really, really positive selling point for somebody like Alford.
I think that's a great takeaway, and I'm excited to see how this 2025 class breaks out. Again, I think this weekend was huge, and something I've kind of nailed on the head too with that 2024 class. Again, last year we were in this boat. We were trying to close guys, and I keep going back on this, but I'm trying to just reiterate to people how important and what has changed and how much of the change is, how impactful it is. Having all that 2024 class there, this is the third time now that they've all been together after being committed, building that bond, building that relationship, being in that environment at the same time. What that does for that class to make sure that it is a lock, as we would like to say, and what it's going to do for 2025. You now have an entire mass of young men, basically a group recruiting for you, when last year that wasn't the case at all. I mean, you had maybe 2 or 3 guys in that 2024 class kind of trying to figure things out and maybe poke here and there. But now it's becoming a cohesive unit, which just, again, the reason to keep trusting the process, believe in it, and allow this thing to work. It's got to be exciting.
Yeah, and I think Billy and his staff have the right idea with as far as recruiting goes. You want to get the vast majority of that class locked in before the season even starts. One, so they can see the product on the field that they're going to be a part of. But 2, because if you've got all these guys locked in before fall starts, you can really just focus on locking down the season. And then once you start nitpicking, or not nitpicking, but cherry picking those few guys left that you need to close the class out with, like we said, like a Jordan Seaton, LJ McCray, Xavier Mincy, you can really focus all of your attention and throw all 21 of the guys that are committed at them as well. Obviously, you saw DJ Lagway over here tweeting Jordan Seaton, hey, man, what's it going to take to get you to Florida? Stuff like that. You've got Jamonte Waller tweeting LJ McCray, come on, dog, come to the swamp. It's a lot easier as a coach when you have guys in your class that everybody respects. And I think we've kind of talked about those gravity guys on the podcast before. DJ's one of those guys. Miles Graham's one of those guys. Jamonte Waller's one of those guys, where other players want to play with a prospect like that because they are the top guys in the country. So having guys like that already committed to kind of round out the back end of your class is huge.
Yeah, and what about Napier? recruiting after the game. Like there was pictures taken of him at like midnight of him recruiting kids after the game. I mean, Dan Mullen would have been planning his next vacation.
He was wakeboarding.
He would have been 3 Bud Light limes deep already. But yeah, no, Napier's he's a tireless worker on a recruiting trail, man. Obviously you saw that from, we just had a huge win. Game ended at 10:30. I did my post-game press conference. As soon as I did that, I walked back out to the field, talked to these recruits, and I'm out over there trying to get the next great player to commit to Florida. So it's a never-ending game, but Napier.
And then what? DJ Pickett even tweeted out that he said, it was like something like I made up my mind or something like that, and then he just deleted the tweet.
DJ Pickett said, I've seen all I needed to see, and then shortly after deleted that tweet. So that sounded encouraging for Florida fans. Number 1 safety in the country for the 2025 class, top 10 player in the country, and just an absolute stud on the defensive end. That is another one of those gravity-type players where if you can get somebody like that to join the class early, like you got DJ to do last year, he helps you recruit, and he kind of recruits itself.
Yep.
I love it. Let's close out with this. There's obviously the depth chart dropped today. A lot of question marks going on with a particular player. But Trace Mack's getting the start. Love to see that. Kingsley is out. I think Dave said it's more precautionary. I'm not too concerned about that. Love to see Najee Harris, IMG kid. He's getting the nod to start at right guard. But there's no Kamari Wilson, Connor, and we're trying to figure out if where's Waldo. If you know where he's at, he's not even on the depth chart. You got any takes?
I'm not sure if I have any takes that are film legal. I
hit him with the cold elbow there. He wasn't ready for
no. So the one thing I will say is Kamari did get some playing time at Utah.
You did.
What I saw from him wasn't fantastic. Obviously, they rotated a little bit between R.J. Moten, Miguel Mitchell, Jordan Castell, and Kamari Wilson. And since that game, you've kind of seen that rotation stop.
Yep.
You've seen just Jordan Castell and Miguel Mitchell as your 2 primary guys at safety, and you really don't see anybody else out there. Obviously, against McNeese, you got all the young guys in there to get some playing time. But Tennessee, Kamari Wilson didn't record a single snap. R.J. Moten, I didn't see on the field at all either. So I think the safety room is kind of shaking itself out with Castell and Mitchell as your guys. And then I think you're going to have somebody like a Bryce Thornton maybe see some time this week against Charlotte. I don't think Kamari – I'm trying to think of how to say this. I don't know that you'll see much more of Kamari this year.
Yeah, we were talking precast, and this – go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I would rather just have the best players on the field. It doesn't even really matter who's playing and who's not. I would rather just have the best players on the field. But I guess that does raise a question because he hasn't really been on the depth chart at all. So I guess that does kind of raise a question for that. But at the end of the day, play the best players, and that's what Billy Napier's doing. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that's the biggest thing is I think so many people got used to when Dan Mullen was here seeing the seniority or seeing the unnecessary rotation of certain guys. And you're not seeing that now. You're seeing true freshmen come in and take snaps from older guys. You're seeing once they find their guys, they're sticking with those guys unless they absolutely have to take them off the field. And that, to me, as a football observer, as somebody that's played football, as somebody that's coached football, that is the way that I think things should be run. Now I'm not getting paid the big bucks to do all this stuff like they are. Just an uneducated guy on Twitter thinks that they're doing a great job and that they're doing it the right way. Now somebody can tell me I'm wrong, but I mean, that's just my opinion.
I think too, for watching the Kamari thing kind of shake down, he's had a lot of cryptic tweets this offseason, and now it seems to be that we're getting our answer to what they were referring to, because a lot of people kind of were panicking. Obviously, we were nervous because he broke the curse from IMG. He was a big time recruit when he came in, right? And we had a lot of excitement for him. But it's kind of reminding me of like the DeJuan Black situation where there was a ton of hype to watch him play and it never really panned out. And it's like, there's a lot of talent there. What's going on? Why aren't we seeing him play? And then it ended up transferring. And again, this is just my observation. I see him more than likely probably deucing after this season. I think you're going to see a lot of that. And again, you can't panic. It's just the way the world is now, especially with the Xavier Filsaime coming in. I think his time as a Gator has came and went. And look, I hate to see it happen. I was excited to watch him play. I spoke with him at one of the events, but like you just said, if it doesn't really matter if this person's better, it is what it is. Love it that he's even younger, which is exciting because we have a long time with Castell. But yeah, it's just people kind of find fan favorites. They get excited about, and then you don't hear about it. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, and it's not, and none of it's a personal attack on Kamari. None of us are saying, hey, he's not a good player, this, that, the other. It's just, it is what it is. I mean, the cream rises to the top. The guys that play, and if at the end of the season Kamari does decide, hey, you know what, I'd like to transfer elsewhere to get an opportunity to get more playing time, wish him the best. I've talked to the kid multiple times. He's a fantastic young man. So great kid. I was very happy to see him be a Gator when he decided to make the decision to go to Florida. But I mean, you have to do what's best for you. And if at the end of the day for him, that's him moving on to another program, then no love lost, man. Like, thank you for doing what you did for the University of Florida, and best of luck to you, kind of thing.
Absolutely. Well, Connor Clark, man, it's always a blast having you on. I'm glad that we got to have that experience at the Tennessee game. Something special that I'll cherish for forever. I love that every time I go to a game, we happen to run into one another. It's meant to be. One of the first people, I always like to say, you were the first person that gave us an opportunity and came on this crazy ass show. So can't thank you enough for being the wind beneath my wings, as one would say, Connor, and getting us up and going. But hey, man, tell them where they can follow you, man. You're growing like a weed on Twitter. You're doing a phenomenal job, man. So let them know.
Man, I'm just a nobody trying to become a somebody like you, Sheldon.
He's just reporting the news.
That's Hollywood.
No, it's really the only platform that I use that much is Twitter, and it's just at Connor Clark, Connor with an E, Clark with an E. Other than that, like I tell you every time, man, it's a blast to come on and talk with you guys. Was even more fun to chest bump and jump around and have a good time at the game, matching energy. So, man, the vibes were good in Gainesville. Certainly be back up there soon, and looking forward to chopping it up again with you guys here in the future.
Absolutely, Connor. And tell your wife thanks for allowing us to steal your time. You've been on here for quite some time, so tell her we appreciate you and her. So thank you, Bubba.
I'll make sure the love is conveyed.
All right, man. You be good. Go Gators. Until next time, boss. We'll be in touch.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great night.
See you, man.
And now the show sucks again.
Oh boy!
What up, big guy? Steve's
Look
been hanging on for quite some time, man. He's been just hanging out there.
Get her back. Yeah.
How was it? So now you've seen 2 interviews. We're gonna go to you. Can you give us a scale out of 1 to 10? How were both interviews, Steve?
Total body of work, I give it about a 7.
I hate this guy.
No, look, the kid on from Florida that you guys chatted with.
The kid's name is Tyreak Sapp, Stephen.
Tyreak Sapp. Thank you. I'm not a Florida fan. I don't keep up with your roster, but he was an awesome interview. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of passion for Florida. So you love to see that out of one of your players, and just to be able to kind of give a little bit of insight on how the cultural dynamic has changed since Napier's been there.
That's Stephen Harris.
It's great.
Hey, are you two guys gonna like cuddle later and like wear like Tennessee orange? Just asking for a friend.
You didn't think I was gonna pick Florida?
No, I'm not mad at you, Steve. I'm not mad at you, Steve. That was more another jab at Dave. Yeah, you're fine. You were completely in the right there with what you did.
I picked Florida too. See.
Oh my!
You did not. Well, let's dive into our pick'ems from last week. I sucked. Straight honest with you, I'm losing now to Steve, and I'm getting closer to Dave. I don't know what happened. I picked some good ones, but I picked some bad ones there. So it was tough. But again, this segment is brought to you by MyBookie. Make sure you guys use the code HIGHTOP when signing up for MyBookie. Go to mybookie.ag. You can bet anytime, anything, anywhere. And again, right now, betting on the Gators money line has been making a ton of people money. Somebody messaged me, said they bet $300 on them last week from money line. So big payout to those guys there for picking the Gators. Obviously, we're gonna have our pick'ems. We got 7 massive games coming up here this week. It's going to be an incredible week 4. But if you're going to bet on it, go to mybookie.ag, use the code HIGHTOP, helps us out, keeps the lights turned on here at High Top Sports, and you'll get a little present when you do sign up using the code HIGHTOP. So everybody wins. You get money. I get to keep Steve on the show, I guess, and then we go from there. But moving on to our pick'ems here. We've got the first one up, order for business, boys and girls. The Dirty Oho Knowles and the old Clemson Tigers. It's at Clemson?
It's at Clemson.
A noon game.
It's a noon game, though. Yeah, so the beauty of this is that Clemson doesn't get to be out there tailgating from 10 in the morning until an 8:30 kickoff, and the whole stadium is just sauced. Those 12 o'clock games, when you're going into a rivalry, into opposing territory, a noon kickoff is perfect as an advantage, kind of equalizer for you going in.
Sure. I'm loving it. It's an exciting stadium. They have this great ritual where they pet this phenomenal rock. So I'm a big fan. It's a noon game, which is kind of weird, but it's the jam-packed day. So where would you put this game? You know what I mean? Steven says, I love this show. Love you, man. Appreciate you coming on Monday, Steven here. It's been a blast having you on, man. So we got, again, Steve here. Obviously, we know who Steve is. Dave is the cargo shorts, and anybody that new here, I am the mullet. So we go ahead and we pick our sides, and we go from there. Steve is leading. So, Steve, you will go first for the first game. I'm going to go ahead and assume this is going to be your pick. All right, Dave, you're up.
Yeah, sure.
All right, this is tough, man. I've gone back and forth on this because obviously I always say emotional picks are tough for me. I want to pick FSU to cover the 2.5, but I have this weird feeling that Clemson's going to come out and do a good job. And FSU didn't give me any confidence last week after the performance against Boston College. If that didn't pan out last week, it would have been a no-brainer. But there's a reason why it's at 2.5. It's in Clemson, but I also know how personal this game is going to be for Mike Norvell. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to pick FSU because if I lose, I still win. See what I did there? It's a win-win for me. And a celebrity pick, I have one from your mom, Steve. She's picking the Tigers. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I watched some of the game last week, too. I was not impressed with the Boston College thing, but I was impressed with the LSU. I know LSU does not have a great defense. I know Florida State does not have a great defense, but I do know that Clemson has a great defense. So I'll go with the better defense. I'm picking Clemson.
Wow. $2 from Dom. Says, Holly, I hate your forehead. Get a smaller shirt.
So it's a perfectly fine size shirt for my physique.
Between the hedges, $5 says, breaking news, Hedges has donated $100 for the Tebow helmet. Please let me win that helmet.
I heard that Uncle Lou was going to match every donation dollar for dollar.
Yeah, he's going to match it. I love it. All right, there we go. Auburn Tigers at the Aggies. This game was not ranked, so every other game is ranked but this game. But it's an enticing game for me, and I selfishly picked it because I've got beef with Aggie fans, and I have beef with everyone who picked Auburn to be good this year. So I am in a dilemma on who I want to win this football game. Honestly, the Aggies already took their L, but they're favored. I think that is ridiculous that they're favored 7.5. I don't think Auburn's that great, but I don't think the Aggies are either. I think it's going to be a close one. I'm going to take the 7.5 points with the Auburn Tigers. Best case scenario, they lose by 3.
Yeah, that's a tough one. God, Texas A&M lost to Miami, and Miami sucks. So Auburn, their offense hasn't been. Nah, I'm going to go with Texas A&M minus 7.5.
Stevie.
So I said going in looking at Miami, if Tyler Van Dyke could return back to the form of 2 years ago before the atrocious hire of Gaddis, offensive coordinator, that Miami could be a good team. And I still think that the Miami loss is not an indictment against Texas A&M as much as the way I've watched Auburn play. I'm going to take Texas A&M, get the points.
gonna give me points. All right, real quick before we keep moving on, $2 from Stephen Harris. Stephen Harris says Clemson for the W at home. Let's go 100. Thanks, man, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Good stuff there. I love it. Hey guys, over 500 people in here on a Wednesday night. We were 600 strong for a little bit. Smash that dang like button. Let's go, boys. Subscribe. We're only like 200 away from 17,000 subs. It's unbelievable. All right, Dave, you're up first, big guy. Alabama or Ole Miss. Bama's favored by 7 at home.
Is that a home game for Alabama?
I literally just said that.
Oh, did you? I wasn't listening. I'm gonna go Ole Miss. Bama hasn't been playing that great. They're having quarterback struggles. Ole Miss does not. They don't have a great defense, but they have a really good offense still. I don't trust Alabama right now with the way that they're playing. For them to, if they beat Ole Miss, I think it's going to be close. So that's why I'm going to take Ole Miss with the +7.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I really don't like Alabama's quarterback situation at all, and I don't think that they've got it figured out. I think that old Captain Visor and Joey Freshwater in Ole Miss has a little bit of a beef still in the back pocket from his time at Alabama. So I think he's going to dial this one up. I'm going to take Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm going to have to suit up with you guys on that one. That one's a no-brainer for me.
There it goes again. Oh.
Yeah, I fixed it. I know what went wrong. I'm not believing on Bama at all, and I think this game is going to be the deciding factor for them, right? If they can figure this thing out, maybe they can start to get back to what we expect Bama. Like in years past, you always pick Bama to bounce back here. I can't believe in it. And I think Ole Miss is at a time where they've got to win the big one, and it's right now. And they're at a great opportunity to get it done, unless Lane's just going to lane again. So I think we're in this weird universe where the world is starting to turn over a little bit. We're passing the buck over. And in my opinion, this is going to be that game that changes the era of football. That 2009 SEC championship game between Florida and Bama, that was the handover, right? This is the end of it right here. This is going to be the second handover where things start to change, and the trajectory of the
becomes
SEC.
a mentor for sure.
Huh?
The student now becomes the mentor. Isn't that how it goes?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm giving up on Saban. The whole all of us together here. The crew as a unity. All right, moving on. Utah Utes are favored. It's at home, by the way, against the UCLA Bruins and Chip Kelly. You're up, Steve.
Oh, I have never liked Chip Kelly at all. His attitude is just trash to me. I'm going to have a hard time picking UCLA. I like what the Utes look like against Florida. They played hard football. They really did. So I'm going to go with Utah on this one.
Davey?
Yeah, I agree with Holly. I'm going to win with Utah. I do like the comment that Chip Kelly made about the commercials and the time and everything else. So that won me some brownie points with him, but I'm still going to go Utah. Just based on the fact I just think they're the overall better team, and that spread is not a lot. So I'm going with that.
Yeah, I agree. The Bruins are kind of riding off like Tennessee was that high from last year. I don't think that UCLA team was pretty solid, but Utah's got things figured out. It doesn't matter at quarterback. I said that at the beginning of the year, so kind of riding that boat. This Buffs first Oregon game, it's actually 21 points. I forgot to change it. That's on me. It's in the exact same spot as it was versus the Colorado State game, which Steve is the only one that got right. Kudos to you, Steve, for picking Colorado State there. That was impressive. I couldn't believe how close it was. 21 points.
We took their best player out of the game, so I'm thinking there was a bit of an equalizer in that.
Sure. Look, I've gone with the Buffs now. I'm 1-1 on the Buffs because we didn't do week one, or we did. No, I'm 2-1. Excuse me, with the Buffs because I picked them for TCU and Nebraska. So I'm 2-1 on the Buffs. I think last week was a little bit of a fluke. I think 21's a lot, and I felt like Georgia, South Carolina, that was a lot. That's a little disrespectful in my opinion. How can you have if they believe they're ranked 18th and this team's ranked 7th or 8th? How do you have a 21-point spread? That means you're either over-evaluating the Colorado, which I think that's what they're trying to say. Vegas is, or Oregon's just that good. I don't think Oregon's that good. I think they'll probably pull it out, but I think 21 is a bit much. I really do. So I'm going to go with Colorado here.
Yeah, you said those are switched around. So I would assume Oregon has negative.
Sorry. Yeah, it's all messed up. Yeah, and it's only 21.
Yeah, that's one big spread, and I don't think that I just don't see Oregon blowing them out like that. I would pick Colorado just based on the spread there. I still think Oregon wins, but I don't think that they win by that large of a margin.
Yeah, that'd be wild. It's in in Oregon actually. Excuse me, it's not in Colorado. I'm sorry.
It is. Yeah, look, I think 21's too much. Colorado's a decent enough team on offense to stay close. I think Oregon wins, to your points. But I think it's not enough to overcome that point spread. So I'm going to go with the Rado.
Honestly, this next game is probably going to be the game of the week outside that Bama game. Well, I guess FSU Clemson, I don't feel like it's going to have that much. I think that'll kind of fade away. I could be wrong, but I think this game's going to be really exciting. It's exciting because we're finally going to get a tell for the Buckeyes, right? And as if Notre Dame is the real deal, I think we're going to get a little bit of both. Obviously, you're going to get the answers for all those, but I feel like these two teams are very highly ranked. I think it's like 9 and 5 or whatever. And obviously, a lot of people have the Buckeyes going at 4. Notre Dame has had a massive bounce back from what they were last year. A lot of excitement. Who do you got, Dave?
I got Notre Dame, man. Hartman, I like his arm. I like the quarterback. Ohio State's been kind of they've been kind of shaky this year. I have to go with Notre Dame with the points. I mean, that's easy. You're going to give Notre Dame +3 against Ohio State. I like their quarterback. I like their team. I think it's Notre Dame's time. I think they beat the Buckeyes.
Stevie?
A night game in South Bend. Notre Dame has been playing well enough. I think they can cover a 3-point spread.
They get 3 points.
Oh.
You got to learn how to read those damn things, bro. Yeah, I couldn't agree. I picked Notre Dame at the beginning of the season to upset Ohio State. It's no question. Sean says, "Let's go Irish." We're partnering with him for best buddies. But yeah, it's a no-brainer to me. I'm excited to see what they can do. I think the Buckeyes are in the same suit as Alabama. They are trying to figure things out, and they're kind of riding off the brand of Ohio State, which I understand, but
sure.
Not bought in. All right, Stevie, is it Washington State versus Steve's mom's Beaver? Who you got?
I mean, how do I pick against my mom's Beaver?
I'm
going with. That's my pick. My mom's Beaver. I'm going to go on record.
He's like, my mom's Beaver by 1,000,000.
Dude, my mom's Beaver could slay every team on this list.
Wow.
And we lost him. I'm taking the beef too. I mean, I was with the beef last night. No, I think DJ is a good fit there in Oregon, and I think it's a no-brainer. Dave, I feel like we can keep going with this, and I can't allow that to happen.
I was about to say, is your mom watching right now? She's probably
his mom's dead.
Wow, I did not know that. That is a bad thing on air.
That's why this makes this joke by Shelton even more horrible.
No, it's not. No, don't put this on me, Steve. You know, no.
It had to happen. It had to happen.
All right, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I think I'll go with Oregon State too. I mean, their quarterback has thrown for almost 1,000 yards. They haven't been able to run the ball
This
that well.
Sucks. We all picked the same thing, but like 2 games.
Yeah, well, nobody wants to lose. So, do you want me to go ahead and just pick Washington State to make it interesting?
No, there's a trophy involved, Dave. You don't give up a competitive edge. Have you seen this thing? It's massive.
Yeah, you can't do that.
All right,
even my mom's Beaver could take it.
All right, put my cargoes over there, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you gotta just protect yourself. I mean, you're not doing yourselves any favors by following us because you're behind. So maybe you would want to take Washington State, but. Bro, hey, this is my kind of comment, bro. TC Kellerman says, so she is watching. That's that kind of sick shit that I love right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's a good joke. Hey, real quick, I just got a text from one of our guys, Brandon Curry. Quick little breaking news action here while we're on the show. Cameron Waits, just after 9 months after tearing his Achilles, Florida offensive lineman Cam Waits has started taking reps in practice. While he's not quite ready for game action, his progress is staggering. So that's exciting. Again, that's a big addition to the offensive line. That would be great to.
Per Jacob Rudner. It looks like it just popped up on my feed now.
Yep. Per Jacob Rudner, yeah. So shout out to Jacob for giving us that news. Again, somebody that we were really excited to see this year. Obviously, then he tore his Achilles during the offseason. And again, 9 months. You know what's crazy? Speaking of Achilles, Aaron Rodgers thinks he'll be back by the playoffs. Maybe the surgery on the he's claimed that he is. So look, love that he's taking snaps. Again, how soon will he be back? But for the fact that he's getting down, he's squatting down, and he's taking reps, could we see him by the end of the year? And again, if Florida is on this, just starts things start clicking, one more offensive lineman that is experienced does not hurt us in that success. So that's phenomenal news. Things are starting to click for Florida. It feels good to be here right now. It's like, thankfully, we're firing all cylinders. So, any thoughts on that, Dave?
Yeah, man, I'm starting to love Florida Gator football again, man, especially looking at this defense. I think that's what was really missing from this team, and that's why we lost a lot of games, especially last year, was our defense. I mean, we scored enough in games. I think we were averaging right around 30 points. We're at almost 30 points right now with FBS opponents, so it's like, okay, well, you're averaging the same amount you were last year. You're doing what you're supposed to do, and we're starting to get more, intermediate throws. Like, we never got that with Richardson. We just got a lot of the explosive deep pass plays. That's all you really got from him. But who knows? Graham Mertz might have that in him. We have not. You heard Shane say, we're probably going to throw the ball a lot this year. Well, if you're running the ball effectively, you don't really need to throw it anyway. So if it comes down to Graham Mertz throwing the football, we're going to see. We're going to see what kind of arm talent he has. So I'm excited, man. Like, the defense has played lights out so far. I can't say that they've been perfect, but they've played pretty lights out. So I'm willing to see what happens the rest of the year. I really am.
I love it. Well, let's move on to our best giveaway. Look, guys, the show's not even close to being over, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, in a good way. We've got a slew of giveaways that I have been meaning to do at the end of the show. So it's not necessarily show stuff. So if you entered into the Fred Taylor helmet, or football, the Brandon Spikes photo, and the Warfel jersey, don't go anywhere because we're going to be announcing the winner here on the show on top of free coffee. So a lot to give away. Before we get into that, Dave's favorite segment, sponsored by Manscaped. Tweets of the week.
Tweets of the week. Manscaped, September is here, and I want to take a second to talk about self-care. When it comes to making an impression, proper grooming is essential to looking and feeling your best when you walk into a room. That's why the sponsors of today's show, Manscaped, are committing to helping men around the world walk and talk with some swagger this season with the best grooming tools on the market. Join the 9 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and enjoy this offer 20% off plus free shipping with the code HIGHTOP20 at manscaped.com. Don't neglect your beautiful self and get right this summer with Manscaped and protect those balls.
All right.
I just first want to point out real fast, just before we move on. My daughter is on a softball team. She's about to be 11 in October. Look, we're walking out the door to go to their first practice game. There's going to be a little crowd there, right? They got a little following. And I just grabbed the first T-shirt I could, and it happened to be Manscaped. And on the bottom of it, it says, Manscaped, protect your balls. And that's just this little thing right here. However, on the back of the shirt, it's that same little logo all the way across it. And we get to the park, and I look at my wife, and I'm like, I'm wearing a shirt that says balls on it. Like, what are we doing here? I can't even be here right now.
Manscaped's not paying us enough. That's all that I know. We're wearing T-shirts out, okay? I mean, what else could you want?
I've got boxers that say Manscaped on them.
I do too. I'm not wearing them right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Should have been wearing them. They are actually really comfortable. All right, first tweet here. Princely was rocking a Tennessee towel during the Tennessee game to wipe off his sweat, and then Chris King tweeted it, and then he retweeted it. Dying. I love this. This is the type of stuff that we've been talking about, is bringing back that energy, bringing back just that hatred. That's that disrespect that I'm all about, bro. I love it. I absolutely love it. Real quick, no. Tom says, Manscaped for your mom's beaver. Jeez. It's getting bad here. This one's incredible. So I can't really, if there's ones at home listening, it's just a picture of Khalil Jackson catching the ball. But the way he caught it, like on the sideline, we all remember the pass and catch. Zach Alberverdi then took that photo and put him next to Michael Jackson doing the lean. It's just it's a hell of a catch, and just everyone's reaction. I mean, just if I'm Khalil, I'm taking that, I'm framing that. Like, that's incredible.
And what was really cool about it is he had both feet in too. You're only supposed to have one in college. He had both.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So, yeah.
Good stuff. I love it. All right, we have a few videos we have to show. Dave completely forgot this was a kid's show, I guess, because everything that he brought
last hour.
Well, that's true. Everything he brought to the table was just straight gas. And I'm like,
elite.
This is on Dave. This isn't on me. I'm not taking any credit for this. This is not my fault here. So just letting you guys know. This one's incredible. I saw this one and I died. You know how I know it's good? Because Jen from the collective, she retweeted it. And I feel like when she retweets it, you know it's going to be good. And it's clean, which is good. So here it is.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us. Lead us not into
Bro,
temptation.
I'm sorry.
Billy makes some of the best videos on Twitter. Billy is the man when it comes to video.
Oh, my goodness. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Now, this next one, I think it is. Oh, this is Sully throwing balls into the, at the Harmonic Woods tailgate, into the Josh Heupel toilet.
Tennessee toilet.
The Tennessee.
You know what? When you think of Tennessee, you think of toilets.
You do. And Sully was shutting it down. I love that. That's cool to see. A bunch of turds.
That's because they wear that trash man orange. You know, the kind of orange that you
the prison
see
orange.
Those guys on the side of the road. It's a little different than prison orange. This is the side of the road. It's like that orange you can't sit with. It's just like that inside of a rotten pumpkin type of orange. It's a problem with it.
Yeah.
So this was post celebration. Kudos to Jamonte Waller. Listen closely. Hey, there's that swagger that Tyreak was talking about. Draw that bitch ass. that's old Billy getting after it. I love that.
Yeah, Billy got some fire in him.
That was good. All right, guys. So this next video, I almost didn't show it because it's look, we cuss on the show, but this gets pretty egregious. So I'm just giving you a warning. It's hilarious though, and I feel like I cannot not show it. It's a Tennessee fan, and honestly, like I've been like this before, so like I was dying because I was like, this is me.
Yeah, if you got kiddos in the car, yeah.
Yeah, it gets egregious. I'm just forewarning you, but it's worth the watch. So
it's after 10 o'clock. You can even put curse words on regular television after 10 o'clock because
I was just
should
about
be
to
in bed by now.
Just about to say that when we used to go on cruise with my family, and they always had the rated R show, the comedy show afterwards. My dad would bring me because he, obviously, the mouth. But it was after 10 o'clock. So here we go.
The quarterback running for his life right here. Send him blitz. Send him. There you go. Get his ass. Fuck. 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 God, I'm so fucking sick of watching this. Oh my God. Fuck you, Herbie. Yeah, we know. Fucking defensive coordinator Banks. He's got to go. He's done. He's got to go. He's done. He plays good defense till third down, then I don't know what the fuck happened. So he pick up a first down, I'm throwing this fucking Pepsi. About fucking time. No good. Block. Let's go, Joe. You gotta fucking prove it today, House. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get some. Get some. It's gonna get ugly. How you this bad on third down? We're beat. We're done.
Oh, we've gone shirtless.
Fuck you, motherfucker. God damn, I hate them motherfuckers. It's over. Our defense wants to look like a bunch of bitches. Their offense looks good. Their defense has got something to play for. Not ours. Wide open. We're going to get our ass handed to us, get embarrassed. You better wake the fuck up. Something's missing from this team, man. Something's missing. That's interference. He's all over him. Hold the fuck out of him all the way down even know what we're doing. Wait. They can't do that.
Did Tennessee bring a man on in that?
No. They're not allowed to do that on defense. They gave them time to run guys off and get fresh guys in. We're beat. No, sir, we didn't. Got a headache. I'm sick of it. What? They're saying he hit him in the back. What the fuck is going on? What's going on? You can't win with the goddamn refs trying to beat you. Fuck you, motherfuckers. Do it again. Accidentally hit the ref while you're at it. I admit we're playing like fucking shit. Probably wouldn't want no way.
Bro.
Was he a Tennessee fan?
Yeah.
He started out the video watching the game with a blue shirt on. He's doing it wrong.
Bro.
Like
the clips.
I wouldn't start the Clemson game with an orange shirt.
He goes, "We're done. We're done. we're done."
And you could just, I'm telling you, I was so worried for his dogs and TV, or as this video was going on, I was like, something's breaking. Like a dog's going flying, a dog's going flying at the TV, something.
The clip goes, "It's about to get ugly," and then it goes, "We're done. We're fucking done."
Shit, we're done. Damn it.
I've been there. He goes, "This team's missing something. I don't know what it is, but it's missing something." But it was all kinds of feels. Super chat from Ivan Matvado says Billy Ballsack is bringing back the true Gator mentality. Gator fans need to be patient. Let that man cook. Let's not run this man out of town. Go Gators. I love it. Between the Hedges says $5 says Shelton should do a live remote game day show with him. Oh my God, with that guy, could you imagine? Boys, we haven't broke 300 likes with over 600 people in here. I mean, that's just rude at this point. You know what I mean? I feel like that's disrespectful. Another great segment of Tweets of the Week. 400 strong for almost 2 hours. What a banger. You know, I haven't had to pee this bad in a long time, which tells us we're having a good time. We're having a blast. Reminder, boys, for the Best Buddies giveaway. Tim Tebow, signed Tim Tebow helmet. $20 gives you 2 tickets. Links in the description. We're giving it away October 13th on our live stream. I almost forgot. We got to do the damn giveaways, boys. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. I almost forgot.
I thought we were doing it now.
Yeah. Well, this is for everything else. This is for other stuff. All right. Jesus. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, boys.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, I almost forgot. Hell of a show. All right. So first order of business, 21. So this is I did the times to remind me what the gift was for. This is for the signed Fred Taylor football. So there was 121 I don't know how many ducks there are. There was like 100 and something, like 68 tweets. So what we do is we get a duck, the duck goes through whatever number it is, that's what we count from. So all the way down, the first person who retweeted the number 1, and it goes to the top. So we'll figure out how to count it, but I think it's like out of 168 or something like that on Twitter. So for the Fred Taylor sign ball, here we go. You're not gonna know if you won yet because we're just getting a number, but just cheer for a duck because it could be your duck. It may not be your duck, but it could be your duck. The Tim Tebow duck. Please be 15. It'd be so easy to count to 15 or 3. It's gonna be the Donald Trump 130, isn't it? Unbelievable, bro. I think Donald Trump. This is like the second time the Donald Trump duck has won. So what we're going to do is from the top, we're going to count down whatever it is. So let me go to my Twitter here and go to the Fred Taylor ball, which is right here. So there's 165 retweets. So that means I'm just going to count 30 spots from the top. All right. So, how do I get to the retweets, Dave?
You click it and then go to view quote tweets. Oh, you don't got it, do you? I'm trying to figure things out. Technical difficulty.
Damn it, Shelton. Why don't you get that? You little cheater.
Oh, here it is. Repost. They redid everything. They redid the whole thing. There it is. All right,
Yeah,
so
they
we're gonna
moved
count
stuff
30. It was 130, right? So I got to do. Well, how many was it? 168.
Yeah.
So I got to count 38 spots from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, Hunter Morris. Go ahead and give him a follow. Oh, he's me fired up. And he's a Heat fan. Bro, look at the stash. By all means, big
Look
guy.
at that thing go.
Yeah, you deserve it. You deserve it. Nice stash.
What happened with the last giveaway we did when we had the second runner up for in Andrew won it? Did we hear from the original winner?
Yes, we did. Oh, I gotta send it to him. Yeah, we did. He you know me.
Okay.
Well, thanks for reminding me. I sent out some of the other
Sorry,
stuff this
Andrew.
past week. Yeah, that was the Shane Matthews jersey, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
I believe so.
Yeah, I gotta give that to him. Yeah, Andrew lost. Yeah. Trump for the win. What's all right? So this now is 27. Gosh, what was 27? It's not Brandon. Oh, it's Warful. It's Warful, Chris, for the 7. This is like 400 ducks, by the way, because we did this on YouTube.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
You
So.
better hope that doesn't end up on like 200.
Oh, jeez. So the first 200 or so, like the 1 through whatever, like I think it was 170. Let me go to Twitter and see how many people retweeted it.
Damn it, Shelton. Damn it.
What's he doing?
Dom Tudor says for the 107th time, I don't. He lost.
All right, so 161, and then after that, it's going to go to the comments. So 161, 0 to 161 duck, you'll be if you were on Twitter. Everything else is going to be into the YouTube comments, which should be a blast. All right, here we go. On to the duckies we go. It's for the Danny Wolfel jersey. 401 would be fantastic.
That would be perfect.
And everything is slowed down now. 126. Ooh, 238. Perfect. Right in the middle. Love that. Love that. Oh, what's got a strong... Dude, Donald Trump duck's going to win again. Get the... Are you...
No way.
Oh, my God. This thing's rigged. This thing's rigged. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what to tell you. It's rigged. All right, so I'm going to do 401 minus 379, 22. So let's count 22 spots. I'll take that because we're going to just count backwards. All right,
Wow.
379. So 22. All right, so I have to go to YouTube for this. And this was on... Hang on. I gotta go through some shit to find where...
Wow,
where
so
this-
disorganized.
I've been kind of doing pretty well with this, Dave. Screw you.
It's always the Trump duck.
It's very strange. It's.
Are you sure
That's-
it's random?
Maybe he owns it.
That's wild to me.
It's the Donald, man. Donald Duck. Donald Trump Duck.
And while Shelton's counting, I'll be honest, I've used this same duck race platform for like work contests and just different things. I'm telling you, all you do is you just put a list of names. You can either upload the file or hand type them. It just makes ducks. You don't do a single damn thing else. There's really no way that you could rig this thing except for Dom's stupid duck, which will never win.
What if
Yes,
this
Dom's-
ducky game?
All right. Sort by...
I don't give a duck.
Aaron Joyner says the Biden duck got stuck on a child.
I don't even know what I'm doing here. All right, so I sorted it by newest to oldest. So we're going down to the bottom because it was the last. It was 22 from the bottom because it was 3 something. So I've got to scroll away.
He says I've got $100 on the Trump duck for the next race.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's Cali. What is up, baby? And he put F Utah. Elliot, you won, big guy, if you're still here. I have Elliot on Facebook, so let me write this down.
I think I saw Elliot earlier.
He was here earlier. I don't know if he's still here, but he just won the
Austin Rogers, I demand a recount.
All right. Elliot, if you're here, shoot me a message, bub. You won the Warfel jersey. So congratulations to you on that. And then we have the Brandon Spikes is going to be the last one. So I did 15 seconds, 51 backwards. Super creative, I know. I think this was like 170 as well. This is a lot. This is actually a lot here. Like 178, I think, on Twitter.
Elliot.
Let's see what the number was. Yeah, 178.
Big duck.
All right. Here we go. For the Brandon Spikes one.
Don't do it again.
There's Donald Trump again. I'm sorry. It's wild to me. Ooh, number one. 90?
A Trump, though.
191?
Hey.
191. Oh, wait. There was YouTube on this too. Oh crap. This is
What?
All right, we'll save it till next week. That one we may have to.
No. I know what live it was. Okay. It was the they were supposed to comment on. I forgot this was YouTube, or excuse me, they the NFL was included in this. So that was one. I think that might have been the last person. That last comment. I think it was out of 191.
Quack.
No, it was out of 218.
Quack.
Hold on. Let me find it. It was on this here, yeah. So okay, it was this stream I told him to comment on. Okay, and there was someone just retweeted the Brandon Spikes one.
Well, you have
that was clutch. All right, so it's 218 and we had 191. So
I think it's a coincidence that the Trump duck won twice and then the red duck won once.
So 27 from the bottom. Yeah, this is the one I commented on. So YouTube might win again here. Oh, let me go to share my page. All right, so 27. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Dig Life Crisis. You won the Spikes pick.
What? Dick? Is that said Dick Life Crisis? Is that what you said?
Dig Life.
Oh. I can't read it because
you can hear what you want to hear, though. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's your show to you.
All right.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Dig Life Crisis there. And then the last thing we have to give away. Now, if these guys don't get back to me, what I'll do is obviously we do them. This is for the pound of coffee. So this one is a little less. Let me go up to the coffee tweets here to see how many entries there were. For the 2 pounds of Double Dog coffee, I was just drinking that actually, High Top Sports coffee, to get me through the show here. That's why I got to pee. So yeah, 27 retweets. All right, here we go. For the coffee.
Let's go.
No Donald Duck here, boys.
Oh.
The construction duck takes the lead early with 12. I like the Stogie duck here to take a last minute pull. That's my prediction on the bottom.
Yeah, down there at the bottom.
Yeah,
duck?
I like. Oh wait, no, the
Spotted
strawberry
duck?
duck. Oh no, the British duck.
The
14.
British duck.
The 14 duck. All right, 14 from the bottom. Let's go ahead and click here. Dude, they this thing is all jacked up, my boy. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He entered his own game. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Topher.
Yes, my burner account won it.
All right, there we go. So he won the coffee. There's Dave's depth chart. And that is all the giveaways. So we are good for now. But again, we are doing the Tim Tebow one now as well. So put your entries in. I don't know if there's been any tonight, but again, strong show, 2 hours strong, over 600 people in here at one point. There's 300 people still in here. I appreciate you guys as always. Reminder, Saturday, we are doing a high top game day show. Jake Crane will be on the show. Steven Chad will be on the show. Ty Hayes from Alabama will be on the show. To be jam-packed. It's been an absolute blast the last 2 weeks. It has a great feedback from it. And we also made an adjustment. Sunday NFL show we are putting to bed, and we are going to make it a college recap game day show with the professor and I. So, jam-packed weekend. Saturday morning, high top game day. Saturday at noon kickoff. Are we going to do a watch party, Steve, or are you going to bitch out?
No, I'll do it. I did it for LSU. Why would I not do it for Clemson?
I'm just making sure. So we're going to do a watch party with Steve with the Clemson game, and then we'll do one for Florida as well. So, guys, keep the bell turned on. Keep dialed in. Let's get to 17,000 subs. And until next time, boys and girls, I'm Sheldon.
I'm Holly.
He just reports the news. Love you guys as always. Be good. Smash the like button. Subscribe. I appreciate every single one of you for hanging out with us for over 2 hours, for giving your Wednesday to us. Love you guys. Great show. You guys rock.
Cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain.
Hey, Topher just said he's behind the show in the live, so he's watching. He just messaged me back from the coffee, so congrats, Topher.